Hello, this is Abhinav here, and thank you so much for watching this video. Okay, so in this video, what I am discussing is, and in a series of videos that I'm making on this subject of moving Indian business abroad due to various reasons like tax saving or ease of doing business. In this particular video, I'm sharing about the costs of moving the Indian business abroad, right? So generally, when you take a decision that, and primarily it's motivated by tax savings, that I don't want to pay whatever 30% tax in India for the business that I'm doing because of whatever factors, because of the difficulties, the litigation, everything, right? Or there may be other reasons because you want to increase the business's visibility and presence to the clients in different by having a presence in different jurisdictions, whatever be the reason. So if you only think from a tax perspective that okay, I will get this kind of a tax saving, my only point is, and that's why I'm a fee only kind of a consultant, where I am not involved in company formation and all those things. So my basic thing is that when I advise you, I want to also advise you of the possible risks and the possible costs, right? So, because there is no conflict of interest in my advice, I advise that, okay, this is the tax saving you are thinking, but these are the costs also, so that you can take a correct, proper decision, informed decision. So, in that context, in this video, I'm talking about some of the costs that moving Indian business. Now, the costs will differ depending upon the structure that you choose, right? But generally, these are the costs that you need to consider. Also, understand that there are, so yeah, the wrong approach is to only focus on tax saving. Consider all the costs. Now there are one-time costs with respect to one-time setup of the company in a foreign jurisdiction, and maybe reorganization of the company in India. Right? There are certain one-time costs, and then there are certain recurring costs. Right? So both kind of costs you need to see against the long-term benefit of tax saving, the increased revenue in that jurisdiction through shifting to that jurisdiction. So you need to kind of make that comparison. Now, so cost of setting up the company. So if you are setting up a company in the free zone, in the UAE free zone, so cost of setting up and the ongoing compliances that you need to make in the UAE free zone to get the tax exempt status, and whatever compliances that you need to do, so those compliances. Then cost of setting up Indian subsidiary company. That means if you want to continue operations in India, so either you have already an Indian company, or you reorganize your business, an unincorporated business in India under a private limited or a LLP structure. So cost of reorganizing the business, and highly advisable to mitigate the PE risk. You should, if you kind of do it business as a sole proprietor or as a kind of unincorporated partnership, better to kind of move it into a private limited or a LLP kind of a structure, right? So that is better from a PE risk perspective. So that cost. Then structure the setup in such a way that a company qualifies as a resident of that jurisdiction. So whatever you need to do to ensure that if it's a UAE company, it qualifies as a resident under the DTA, under the India UAE DTA, and accordingly getting the TRC from that jurisdiction. Whatever needs to be done, all the costs regarding to that structuring, you need to take care. Wordings of the tax residency certificate you need to see, which is issued by that jurisdiction, because in a lot of cases I've seen the tax department, the courts in India, when they decide on the PE aspects and other things, they check the wordings of the TRC that is issued by the jurisdiction. So checking that, that's not a cause, but I've just mentioned it as a point here. Then every jurisdiction has certain substantial presence requirements, right? Whereby the directors and others uh, need to kind of attend, be there in the company in that particular country for set number of days, attend board meetings. So the cost of to and fro travel from India or from any other third country to that jurisdiction, you need to take care. And this is very, very important, because now with the growing kind of a concern, the BEPS, concerns around base erosion and profit shifting, BEPS, uh, you need to enter, you need to create a company in a jurisdiction where there is some substantial activities you carry on, right? If you don't do that, and just for your tax saving you have created a company there, then the Indian courts can strike it down, saying that that whole arrangement was just an attempt to evade the Indian tax, right? And then the GAR provisions can also be kind of triggered, which kind of negates, which overrides the DTA, the benefits under DTA. So you need to have a proper place there. You need to conduct the board meetings there. You need to and fro travel is there. You need to have your passport stamped with the dates of visits. You need to have the minutes to prove that there were substantial business activities carried on from that jurisdiction, where key business decisions were taken from that jurisdiction. All that you have to do to prevent and ensure that the company's profits are not held taxable in India. So the cost of all doing all that, you need to take care. Need a fixed place of business. So many jurisdictions, even UAE, requires a fixed place of business, presence of employees. So you cannot just have a kind of a just an office with no one there. There are inspections also that are done, right? So you need to have the fixed place of business, some office presence, skilled employees, presence of skilled employees in that foreign country, right? And then, because this is essential to demonstrate substantial presence and negate the possibility of Indian government invoking GAR or PPT, that which I've already explained. So the cost of that. If the plan is to continue business activities, very important to manage the PE risk. That means if the Indian, so you decide that okay, I move my jurisdiction there, but regarding certain, because you already have an Indian set of employees and loyal employees that have been there with your company, and they are also skilled, they are experienced, and they are good performers, and not everybody will be ready to relocate to that jurisdiction, and all this also from the cost of living perspective and all. So they will continue to work for you from India. You need to ensure that the PE risk is managed. I made separate video on how to ensure that the you manage the P risk, so that Indian operations do not qualify as a P. Right? Then very important cost is of the transfer pricing compliances. So if you have a structure where there's an Indian company which is doing services for the company, like a UAE free zone company, between both companies, if there are any transactions like basically export of services from the Indian company, then it has to be done on arm's length. So you need to ensure that there is a proper transfer pricing compliance, both under the Indian regulations and under the UAE regulations, right? You need to ensure those, that and that's an ongoing cost. It's not a one time cost. Every year you need to incur that cost. Then if you move a certain set of employees to the foreign jurisdiction like UAE, and they start working from there, so you need to also ensure their kind of salary, right, which has to be in line with the cost of living. Now the cost of living in UAE is much higher as compared to India, so you need to also factor in that cost. It is incremental cost. Um, then cost of FEMA compliances. I have made separate video on FEMA ODI compliances by Indian residents investing in foreign companies or setting up foreign companies abroad, and in routine transactions also, export of services and all. There are certain requirements, regulations, costing of that, the fees that you pay to the and yes, the fees that you pay to the various professionals. Because here what happens is that you need to engage first of all for a broad kind of principle, broad levels, kind of a conceptual clarity. You need to engage professional in India as well as that particular jurisdiction. Then for ongoing compliances, for one time and ongoing compliance also, you need to have professionals in both the jurisdictions. So their costings also you need to take care of. So if you are just a freelancer and you have no kind of intention to kind of expand or make a team, you can just move to that particular country. But if you have an existing business with a set of employees and clients in India, and you decide to move to a foreign jurisdiction to save on tax and other things, you need to also ensure that you need to comply all these costs and weigh the cost, these all costs, with respect to the savings and the additional revenue that you get from moving into the jurisdiction. And then you will be able to make an informed decision on whether to make that move or not, right? So I hope this video was useful. If you have any comments, thoughts, do share in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching this video.